The hobby is hotter than ever. Stay tuned for details from the 2023 National and more. Check it out. Welcome back to Sports Cards with Joe
and Doug.
And Doug, today we are back in the studio, still recovering from an exhausting week in Chicago. We had a fantastic time, but today I just wanted us to reflect a little bit on the show, but more so, let's just talk about the state of the hobby based upon some things we saw there, based upon what we experienced, what we saw friends of ours experience. I mean, my first takeaway was that I felt like after completing the 2023 National, seeing the largest crowds we've ever seen at a National, I felt like I am telling collectors across the globe, the hobby is in a very healthy place. I feel like the state of the industry is as strong as I've ever experienced it. And I left very excited just to see so many new people pouring in. You know, what were some of your takeaways?
I agree wholeheartedly, Joe. It was refreshing. I didn't know. I mean, I've been to several Nationals these last few years. I didn't know that I was going to run into the amount of dealers, the amount of people the corporate booths were twice as large.
Right.
Just before customers, collectors even showed up, it was just huge. But then when the people started showing up, the aisles were full.
Oh, it was insane. I couldn't even walk through the aisles when I briefly got out of the booth.
I literally thought we might have had too many people, like you really did bring a large crew, but we needed every single person. We did not take time off and barely got out of the booth. It was just,
right.
It was such a good environment, so many transactions, so many customers that I've seen your cards, and I met some of you, and it was great.
Yeah.
And new people, I really, really appreciate the trust that you have in us and our company to help you with your cards.
I think one of the most exciting things, and old-time collectors will appreciate this. Those of you who remember who Al Rosen was, Mr. Mint, Doug actually had a collector come to our booth with a bunch of 1952 high numbers, which came from the original Al Rosen find. I believe it was around 1986, if I remember correctly, if I remember my hobby history roughly, where he purchased, it was like either vending boxes or a vending case of 52 high numbers, and they were just, from what I've heard, you know, some of the highest grade mantles that are on the market came from that find. And yeah, I was just awestruck when you showed me just beautiful, blazing 52 high numbers that were submitted. And we saw a lot of submissions come through the booth. So thank you to all of you who brought us. But you handled almost every one of them.
Almost every one of them. The 52s were, it almost looked fake. They were so fresh. So it was as if we had opened a brand new pack of Topps 2023. The cards were so tight. The surfaces were so tight. Centering was very good, because that's really probably, back in the day, that was one of the biggest issues when they manufactured cards, was centering.
Right.
But these were just tremendous, and I'm excited for the customer. Hoping to get him in the store when we've already sent those cards off for grading. Hope to get him in the store, and we will do an unboxing. Hopefully the customer will join us for the unboxing, so you can see his reaction to the grades as they come from PSA. Very, very exciting. That particular, he came 2 days in a row. The first day he brought his big stack. They're both big stacks. But he felt so comfortable with how we handled his cards that he brought another stack to us the second day. Just a tremendous amount of pristine 52 high numbers.
Yeah. And one of the other things that was going on at the show is Ohtani. He was so in demand. We sold so many raw Ohtanis and graded Ohtanis, and we were also trying to buy a lot of them ourselves. So we bought a large number of them because he is definitely the most trending guy in the hobby right now.
Very exciting.
For what he's doing this year, as we record this, with 40 home runs and pitching well, batting I think 306. It's just unheard of for someone to be doing the things he's doing, both as a pitcher and as a batter. So Ohtani stuff is very hot. Vintage was very strong at the show. We sold thousands of dollars worth of just raw vintage singles. We brought numerous boxes from 1948 and up. A lot of it's great to see there are still plenty of set collectors out there with their handwritten lists. Sometimes typed on the computer, but it's still great seeing that. So many collectors are still working on those old sets. That's always great to see. It's a throwback, because I've always, as a child was a set collector, so it's great seeing that. It was just a really good vibe.
I felt like it was as healthy and as our sales were strong. Our interactions with the manufacturers as well as the customers, it was like everybody was in a good mood. No matter how hot it was in there, and it was hot for a couple of days, people were still at our booth. It was really remarkable. And even over the year right after the Zion craze, and I mean, I've only been to 4 or 5 of these most recent nationals, and I feel like this was a whole different. It was just different. It had a different vibe to it.
Yeah, worlds better than Atlantic City last year, and far better even than 2021 in Chicago, where the room was much smaller 2 years ago. I mean, the room was, they say 33% larger. It felt 50% larger.
Yeah, it felt twice as large to me.
It just went on and on. There's many booths I never even got to, and but despite the growth of the number of booths, the growth of the corporates, the customer base, the collector base was still larger than ever. We saw a lot of international customers who'd come in for the event, and it was awe-inspiring. Well, as many as I've been to, it was just...
Yeah, besides the people that were purchasing or submitting cards that I got to talk to a lot, I would talk to people as they were coming up to the booths, and I definitely talked to someone from Australia.
Yeah.
I heard his accent, and I said, "Oh, I'm from Georgia, the South. You sound like you're from the South, too." And he said, "Yeah, the Southern Hemisphere," and that was pretty funny. But, yeah, all over the world, but that one stood out to me.
I met with the manager for Golden China.
Oh, yeah, cool.
Golden Auctions was set up near us, and whoever oversees their China division came over and had a long talk with me about international market and what's going on over there, and that was very enlightening. And a lot of talks about what's going on with breaking, with not just but like online streaming platforms. Fanatics is promoting their new platform. We have exciting news coming soon. I don't have a date yet, but soon we'll be streaming on eBay Live. We're working on that right now as we speak, and look forward to be offering a number of products through eBay Live on the under username GotBaseballCards, same as we have on eBay. So we're very excited for that. And grading in general, there were a lot of, you can tell there's still plenty of demand for grading because there's still more and more new startup companies trying to get their foot in the door. But we're still working with the big 4 and predominantly taking submissions for PSA and SGC. We came back to a massive amount of submissions. We've had a huge amount since then. Every day they're rolling in the door, which we thank all of you for submitting and trusting us with your valued cards. We are not only handling grading, but we're also consignments. We just sold, for those who followed some of our previous videos, we just sold the Satchel Paige 48 Leaf Rookie yesterday for $40,000 on eBay. That was graded by us, consigned to us, and sold. So big card.
Very big card.
I'd love to have
it got a lot of attention at the National.
It did.
We almost sold it at the National, too. Very close.
We had a lot of close negotiations. They just didn't quite come up to the number we needed to, but it sold for $40,000 yesterday on eBay. So excited for that collector because it's a beautiful card. It's a beautiful card.
Absolutely.
So we're going to have more great content coming soon, but we just wanted to give you a really brief recap of how great the show was. We're thrilled. We're exhausted. It was very tiring, but it's great. We came back with a pile of submissions that have been sent in to get back out the door, which is great, which is what we've been processing. But we just wanted to show you a few scenes from the event, And also let you know, coming soon, we will be at the Burbank show in Anaheim. We're going to have 24 feet of tables there. We're going to have 4 members of our team there. That's coming up Labor Day weekend. Then we will be in Nashville at the next big Nashville show. We have 60 feet of tables there. So we're going to be taking submissions on site at both shows. We've already had a number of collectors email us about setting up appointments with us at these upcoming events. So if you want to meet with a member of our team, let us know so that we can set aside a time for you to help you with your collection, either at the Burbank show or the Nashville show. We're looking forward to seeing collectors there. And hobby is as good as ever. Like I said, Doug, compared to 2021, I think the biggest takeaway, 2021, yes, prices were soaring before we started seeing the downturn. And it's true, we've seen a downturn in a lot of those peak prices we saw a couple of years ago. But just because some cards have softened doesn't mean there's fewer collectors, because there's certainly not, because we saw more record turnout at this event. So
I mean, Joe, not to spend a lot of time on it, but I still think it's economics 101. Supply and demand. PSA did get that big bulge of graded cards back. We're going to see a slight softening of prices like we have seen, but now it's pretty much leveled out. They're going to find their true market value. As eBay is perhaps the most economics 101. You put it out for auction and the market dictates the price. So, but very enthused by the amount of people still active and trading and buying and grading. It's just a tremendous amount. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, and we try to keep you abreast of things going on in the industry. If you don't follow us on Instagram, please follow us there. We hope you like this video. Hope you'll subscribe to our YouTube channel, as we will be coming back with more and more content soon. And as we close out, we hope you enjoy these clips from the great 2023 Chicago National. Kudos to the promoters. Did a great job bringing the people out this year, and we look forward to seeing you at these upcoming shows and seeing you in 2024 in Cleveland. So I hope you enjoy these clips. Signing off for Joe
and Doug.